Deep in the forests of northeastern Thailand, past towering trees and tangled vines, stood an ancient shrine. It was old as memory itself, dedicated to Chow Fo Sri Fry, the guardian spirit who once watched over the village. Long ago, the villagers believed the spirit's blessings brought abundant harvests and kept danger at bay. They had tended the shrine with offerings and prayers, but as the world grew modern and traditions waned, so did their reverence. The shrine fell into neglect, and so, they whispered, did the favor of its powerful guardian. Strange things began to happen. At night, faint whispers carried through the forest like secrets meant to be overheard. Villagers spoke of shadows shifting without cause, of trees trembling though the air was still. Yet few dared approach the shrine, fearing they might anger Chow Fo Sri Fry further, or awaken something best left undisturbed. But one humid summer night, a group of teenagers decided to test the legend. There were 5 of them, bold and brimming with the restless curiosity youth often brings. They scoffed at their elders' warnings and dared each other to venture deep into the forest. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they laughed nervously as they pushed through the dense undergrowth, closer to the shrine that loomed in whispered stories but remained unseen by most. The journey grew eerier the deeper they went. The usual symphony of chirping insects and croaking frogs faded into an unnatural silence. The air felt thick, heavy with something unspoken. Then came the whispers, soft, melodic, but impossible to understand. They seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, surrounding them in a cocoon of dread. One of the teens pointed his flashlight ahead, its beam cutting through the shadows. "There," he whispered, his voice trembling despite his best effort to sound brave. At the edge of the clearing stood the shrine, worn and crumbling but still imposing. It was carved from red stone, its surface etched with symbols too weathered to decipher. That was when they felt it, a presence. The trees began to tremble, though the air remained suffocatingly still. One of the boys, Nat, froze, his automatic laugh dying in his throat. Standing by the shrine was a figure cloaked in darkness, its outline barely visible. He squinted, leaning forward, and what he saw made his blood run cold. It was him, or at least it had his face. But the features were twisted, eyes sunken into deep pits, lips stretched into a wide, monstrous grin. The doppelganger raised a hand and pointed directly at him. Nat stumbled back with a cry, but before he could warn the others, the ground beneath them seemed to shift. In the next instant, their flashlights flickered, and everything went dark. When dawn broke over the village, the forest remained unnervingly quiet. It was the villagers who found the teens, scattered across the forest floor. Their flashlights lay broken beside them, their clothes torn, skin etched with strange markings that looked like ancient scripts. No one knew how they had survived, but the markings remained, burned into their flesh, like warnings not to return. The teens, pale and trembling, refused to speak of what had happened. The whispers of the forest still echoed in their minds, and the memory of their own faces, twisted in horror, haunted their every waking moment. Within hours, they fled the village, leaving behind family, friends, and home, never to return. Chow Fo Sri Fry had made his anger known. The shrine, forgotten and forsaken, would remain a place feared by all, its legend now etched in skin and bone. And deep within the forest, the guardian still watched, waiting.